It's time to let the future shine with a What Happened on My Universe Mode Special! Yep, it's time for NXT to strut their stuff with the latest takeover. Takeover Brooklyn. It has a 2 there, but it's not the second takeover. Boy, it's technically the second takeover in this end. It doesn't matter. The opening contest was Billie Kay challenging Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship. Billie Kay thought she had the advantage to start with when she hit Asuka with a big DDT, but Asuka just got up, arm ringed her with a reversal and took her out with a backhand. After a quick suplex, Asuka showed off her striking skills, first with a massive smack to the face and then a big knee for arm ringing it some more. Asuka's next strike wasn't so successful. Billie Kay caught it, reversed, hit a Northern Light suplex and choked Asuka on the ropes. She then hit a pretty sweet Hurricane Rana. Billie Kay dragged Asuka to the corner and started ramming her head into the turnbuckle, but it wasn't long before Asuka had enough of that and rammed her head into the turnbuckle once and followed that one up with a bit better, a dirty German suplex. She went for the pin. Billie Kay kicked out though. Asuka took Billie Kay down with a quick kick and then gave us a hat trick of ass maneuvers, a barrage of bottom filled moves. First a running butt bump, then a running butt bump into the corner, and then while she was down in the corner, another running butt bump. A possibly embarrassed Billie Kay then reversed the next move and hit Asuka with a fisherman suplex. Unfortunately, a little too close to the ropes. She hit a crossbody off the second rope and tried to slam Asuka, but Asuka reversed the slam, hit a reverse DDT, and then locked on the Asuka lock, or a chicken wing as I like to call it. She held it on for a while and Billie Kay tried to not quit, but eventually she had to tap out and quit. And Asuka once again retained her NXT Women's Championship. A feud that's been recently simmering on NXT television was Bo Dallas, who was trying to make a Bo lever out of Tommaso Ciampa. The pair were attacking each other physically and verbally, and in some cases attacking their opponents so they can get involved in their rivals' matchup. Well, the two had a match on this pay-per-view, and it got a bit out of hand as soon as the bell rang, with the ref getting knocked out, and they headed to the outside of the ring. On the outside, the pair brawled. It started with Bo Dallas throwing Tommaso Ciampa into the barricade a few times, but eventually Ciampa reversed through Bo Dallas into the corner post, then rammed him into that corner post, and then hit a few moves on the outside, including a suplex and a nice burning hammer, and then a corkscrew plancher from the inside of the ring. He put Bo Dallas back in, but Bo Dallas then reversed a European uppercut and threw him into the corner, taking him to the top rope and hitting with a dirty back suplex off the top rope and then a splash. The Dallas advantage did not last as Ciampa reversed the slam with a reverse DDT and then hit a big knee to the face. He followed that with an ace crusher draped off the top rope and then the big powerbomb lung blower finish. Tommaso Ciampa went for the pin, Bo Dallas didn't kick out, and Ciampa won a quick but pretty brutal match. Speaking of brutal, it was time for a hardcore title match with Eric Young, who did not need the rest of Sanity today, or it just didn't let him have it because it was an Extreme Rules match. He was challenging the hardcore champion John Bradshaw Layfield. This one was going to be a barn burner. As soon as the bell rang, the pair charged at each other, with Eric Young gaining the upper hand with a Lou Thesz press. He beat down JBL with some punches and then continued that beat down once he got up, thumping him in the back of the head a few times before ramming him down. Eventually, JBL would reverse an Irish whip and do the same back to Eric Young with some clubbing blows, ramming his head into the mat several times. After an elbow drop, JBL thought it was time to bring in some weapons. In with a baseball bat, he smashed Eric Young around the face and then rammed him into the corner with it. He followed that up with some stomps and then hit him with snake eyes on the turnbuckle pad. He went for an Irish whip after that, but Eric Young eventually reversed and was able to gain the advantage. Young went back to his original tactic of beating down JBL with clubbing blows and then ran into him with a knee. He clotheslined him to the outside and then hit the dirtiest of power bombs. More weapons got involved next as Eric Young grabbed the ring steps. He rammed them into JBL's head and then rammed them into his gut before hitting him with a jawbreaker and a nice Death Valley driver. That's how you do it, John Cena. Young went for a kick after that, but JBL dodged it and instead nailed Eric Young with a DDT on the ramp. He then followed that up with a powerbomb on the steel steps and then used his signature neckbreaker to set up for the clothesline from hell, which he went for, but he missed. Eric Young ducked it and instead hit a neckbreaker of his own. After another Luthez press, Eric Young grabbed the baseball bat from earlier and smashed JBL with it several times. He went for a leap off the top rope but missed. JBL moved out of the way, went for the pin, and Eric Young only just kicked out. JBL headed back in the ring, but Eric Young caught him, choked him on the top rope, and then hit him with a big dirty pile driver. He went for the pin. 1, 2, nope! JBL kicked out at 2, so Eric Young had to dig deeper in his arsenal and went for the wheelbarrow neckbreaker, his finishing maneuver, which he hit. And after 2 big moves like that, JBL wasn't able to kick out. Eric Young is your new hardcore champion. Next up, it's the first of 2 tag team contests. This one is the Tag Team Championship, as the newly formed team of Ty Dillinger and Albert, Ty NA, get it? Like Albert's old team. They were taking on the tag team champions Enzo Amore and Big Cass. The match began with Ty Dillinger and Big Cass, and after a couple of chops, Ty Dillinger got reversed and Big Cass threw him into the corner, where we got some double teamness straight away with a double elbow. Enzo Amore was surprisingly dominating Ty Dillinger, splashing him off the top rope and ramming the back of his head into the mat before nailing a neckbreaker and a big knee to the face. He threw him to the mat once more, but then Ty Dillinger was able to get a hot tag to Albert. Unfortunately though, Albert's a bit ring rusty and Enzo Amore was able to avoid a attack and then continue with the dominance. After a punch combo, Enzo Amore hit a huge splash off the top rope and then a kind of spear off the second rope. Next he went for Eat Defeat, went for the pinfall, and Albert was only just literally at the last second able to kick out at 2. Enzo went for a slam, but in the move of the day, Albert reversed and hit a reverse DDT and then a huge slam. Albert then destroyed Enzo Amore with a huge gorilla press into a sit-out and a pump kick, but the wriggly little Enzo was able to quickly gain the advantage with a Russian leg sweep and then another splash off the top rope. He went for a pin, but once again Albert was able to kick out. After a bit more Enzo offense, once again Albert was able to reverse and this time threw him into the corner so we could get some double teamness, and Ty Dillinger got back in on the action after nailing Enzo with a neck breaker. Dillinger was able to escape an attempted reversal with an enziguri. He then went on a move stealing spree, first with AJ Styles' Oshigoroshi and then Chris Jericho's Codebreaker. Next up he tagged into Albert, who then gave Enzo Amore some knees to the gut. Albert got rid of Big Cass and then lifted Enzo Amore up for the Baldo Bomb. He went for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Albert and Ty Dillinger are shockingly your new tag team champions. It's almost as if we needed to get the belts off Enzo and Cass before the new game came out. More tag team action for you now as Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, the Revival, faced off against Akam and Razor, the Authors of Pain, accompanied by Paul Ellering, not Drake Maverick in cosplay. It was the final of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. As you can see, the match began with Akam destroying Scott Dawson, but that soon changed after an Irish whip reversal and a big DDT as Scott Dawson took advantage and the Revival took control. Dash Wilder tagged in and hit a cool few moves, a big elbow drop followed by a Russian leg sweep. He then worked on Akam's leg with this weird crazy looking leg lock, but he knows what he's doing in the ring. After that, a big DDT and a spinny suplex thingy, possibly a curtain call if you will. He went for the pin and got a near fall, but Akam wasn't down for the count. After some choking, Wilder tagged back into Dawson and we got some double teamness on the leg, but Akam rolled out of the way of the next move and gave Scott Dawson a big boot to the face and tagged into Razor, who hit a big clothesline and a big headbutt and more big moves such as this suplex where he throws him down instead of drops. The Authors of Pain then hit some double teamness with knees to the gut followed by a double gutbuster, and they liked it so much they did it again. Scott Dawson properly suffering from knees to the gut syndrome. Razor continued the assault with a side breaker and a nasty looking powerbomb. We then got some more double teamness from Authors of Pain, an elevated stomp, but before Akam could do anything else, Scott Dawson was able to get the hot tag into Dash Wilder, who nailed Akam with several punches and kicks. Unfortunately for the Revival, Dash Wilder got distracted by Paul Ellering and Akam was able to get the advantage back with a big boot and a signature Russian leg sweep. He beat on Dash Wilder's face and then it was time for more double teamness, more knees to the gut for Dash Wilder and then another double gutbuster. And just like with Scott Dawson earlier, the Authors of Pain did that one twice as well, so it was more knee to gut syndrome, this time for Dash Wilder. After getting rid of Scott Dawson, the Authors of Pain smash Dash Wilder with the last chapter, and just like that, the Authors of Pain were the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Champions. Paul Ellering let them have their moment, and instead it was Triple H who took to the ring to shake their hands and present them with the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy in a monumental moment which seemed to change the look of the arena. In the penultimate contest of the evening, another feud was continuing as Peyton Royce was taking on Nia Jax, who's not like most girls. It says so in her song. The match began with Nia Jax overpowering the Australian Royce, tying up and throwing her on her back a couple of times, and then smashing her with a Vader smash, and then a knee to the face, and then another Vader splash. Nia Jax slammed Peyton Royce, but on her next attempt at a move, she got reversed, got punched, got drop kicked, and then got arm dragged. Peyton Royce sent Nia Jax back into the outside and continued the beatdown, first with a takedown, then with a quick knee drop. She then put Nia Jax back in the ring and carried on where she left off with some kicks. First a spin kick to the gut, then a couple of kicks while she was in the corner, and then a signature spinning kick. Royce tried to hit her finisher, but it didn't work. Nia Jax reversed with a fireman's carry and then hit Wade Barrett's old finisher, you know, that full forward slam. After a couple more knees to the gut, Nia Jax went back to the Vader splashes from earlier. She put Royce in the corner but got reversed. Then Royce threw her into the corner and went for a nice spinning corner kick combo. Say that 10 times fast. Peyton Royce then went for a Russian leg sweep, which she hit, and then a quick knee drop, which she also hit. But then she went to the second rope and went for an elbow, but she missed that. Nia Jax dodged out of the way. Jax hit a sidebreaker and went to the second rope too, but she missed too. So Peyton Royce was back in control. She threw her to the mat and started choking, but when she reached down the next time, Nia Jax was ready and punched her away. She then dropped a huge leg drop on her. Nia Jax looked like she was going to slam Royce, but instead she threw onto her shoulders and hit her Samoan drop finisher. But she was not done. She picked her up one more time, wandered to the middle of the ring and dropped her one more time with the Samoan drop. And Peyton Royce, after getting 2 finishes in a row, was not gonna kick out. Nia Jax victorious, but Peyton Royce hadn't finished. She went for a clothesline, Nia Jax ducked and then sent her packing to the outside with a clothesline, and then she had a chance to properly celebrate. With that match in the bag, there was only one match left to go. It was the main event of this pay-per-view special, and there was a feud behind it for the NXT Championship, as Sycho Sid, with his name in fireworks behind him, was out to face off against his nemesis, the NXT Champion, Samoa Joe. In a feud where it's been based on 2 men knocking several layers of shit out of each other, this one began with Sycho Sid hitting a big front face suplex on Samoa Joe. He followed that up with a nasty looking knee to the face and a big boot. Sycho Sid carried on his offense, first with a gorilla press drop and then throwing his face into the mat. He went for a suplex, but Samoa Joe had had enough and he kneed Sid in the head before hitting him with a clothesline. And after taking Sid down, when he got back up, Samoa Joe nailed him with his combo. Samoa Joe lifted Sid like a powerbomb and then threw him down, kind of taunting him about his finisher maybe, and then did a belly to belly from the outside to the inside of the ring. Sid reversed after that and botched a slam. He did manage to hit Snake Eyes after that without his arm going all glitchy though, and then nailed Samoa Joe in the knee. He followed that with a huge leg drop and then brought Samoa Joe up for a choke slam. And after that, it was time for the powerbomb already. He went for the finisher, he went for the pin, but Samoa Joe kicked out a 1. Only a 1. Sid was obviously annoyed, so he stomped on his gut and hit him with a running power slam. Samoa Joe took advantage of Sid's frustration by reversing his next move. He then took him down, punched him down and threw him into the corner with an exploded suplex. He threw him into the corner again with an Irish whip and did that sweet signature kick he does. After that he hit Sid with a running kick and then got reversed once more. Sid followed up with a gorilla press drop once again. After kicking Samoa Joe, Sid went to the second rope and that never ends well for him. He missed and then ate a back suplex from Samoa Joe. Joe then hit a stun gun on Sid and 3 suplexes. First a German suplex, then a dragon suplex, and then a chimera plex. And then with a final insult, Samoa Joe destroyed Sid with his own finishing move, locking him straight into the pin and getting the win. Samoa Joe retains the NXT Championship. And with that, we'll call it a day. That's it for another What Happened on My Universe mode. Like and subscribe. Raw next.